Okay, instruction manuals. Seem like such simple things, but we all know better. I tell the story on here about when my daughter turned 3, I bought a tricycle in a box, and because it's cheaper, and I was broke. And I tried to put it together, not being very technically adept. I used an instruction manual, which I think was translated from like 9 different languages because it made any sense. So I'm trying to put it together. I got it all together, and I had some pieces left over. Great. But it was all tied down so tightly that I couldn't take it apart and start over again. So I thought, well, it goes forward, it wheels, you know, all that kind of stuff, so I'll just leave it alone. And it works just fine, unless you went over an incline of more than 5 degrees, whoop, at which point it would fall over. In the trash. Yeah, useless. Terrible instruction manuals. So, but there's instruction manuals everywhere. I mean, we live and die by instruction manuals. That's what YouTube is, I swear, is built on. Is how-tos and, you know, instruction manuals. That's where these videos came from, right? So we're gonna play a little bit with instruction manual. This is gonna be simple. It's gonna be a little bit. I hope it's a little bit of fun. You get to do something that you know something about really well and show somebody else how to do it. Okay, so the instructions are just about as simple as that, and then write a little cover memo saying what you did and why. It's a simple assignment, but again, writing instructions is not that easy. One of the very first assignments I ever gave in a technical writing class was about making a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, and it went pretty much something like this, which if you've never seen, I'll show you a bit of this.
Recommendation smart.
You're not making any sense. Sorry, you ruined it on purpose.
You know what? I'm hungry. I could really go for a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. Do you guys think you can write down some instructions and teach me how to make a peanut butter and jelly sandwich?
Yeah. I'm done.
Step 1. Get 2 pieces of bread out. Got 'em. Get a butter knife and get some PB. Take 1 piece of bread, spread it around with the butter knife.
No, Dad, with the peanut butter.
I'm just doing what it says. It says take 1 piece of bread, spread it around with the butter knife.
Hold on.
Get some jelly, rub it on the other half of the bread.
No, Dad, open the jelly.
Well, it doesn't say to do that. Put the breads together on top of each other. Take a big bite. This doesn't taste like a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. Fail.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Sorry, I had to make it extremely specific.
Oh, good. I'm starving. Take 2 pieces of white bread out of the bag. Take the lid off the jar of peanut butter. Get a butter knife and stick it inside of the peanut butter jar. With the knife, scoop a bit of peanut butter out
a bit,
of
that means like a lot.
A bit means a lot?
In my world.
All right. There we go.
Doing better than before, though.
Open the jelly jar. Squeeze it onto the other piece of bread.
No.
Done. Closer. Get 2 pieces of bread.
Okay, it doesn't get any better for these poor kids. Actually, they finally get it, but it takes a while. When I did it in class, I would often end up with peanut butter on my hand or on my or the gel or something. It was a mess. So, you know, it's harder to make an instruction manual than you think. Anybody who's ever tried to put stuff together knows how hard it can be. So that's your job to do this. Now, there are all kinds of instruction manuals. This article is just full of service manuals, user manuals, operations manuals, training manuals, manuals out the top of your ears. But we're just going to focus on making an instruction manual for a user, an end user. Okay. Instruction manuals just boil down to kind of like a recipe, just this step and this step and this step. Not that easy, as we've seen from the peanut butter video. Okay, so that's your assignment. I'm going to show you some different ways people are doing them, sort of the current state of instruction manuals, but just in general, here's your assignment. It's a short instruction manual designed to teach someone how to do something you know how to do well. Should include graphics as well as text. It will also be accompanied by a brief introductory memo explaining the target audience and the process you went through to get it made. I had a student, I used to, when I do this in class, I often bring in my big thing of Legos, fielded from like 9,000 children, and then, build something. And one of my students built a thing, and her target audience was her 5-year-old daughter, and it was written to a 5-year-old. It was really, really good. So you can do instruction manuals targeted to different audiences. Again, I know I talk about audience a lot, but that's what instruction manuals are for, right? So this is what I'm doing now. And this is one way to go about it. And yes, this is an instruction manual, but this is just one way to do it. If you're going to do something you know how to do well, do it, write it all down as you do it. If you get somebody to take pictures of it as you do it, that's great to document it. Figure out your target audience and then create your manual. And it's good if we had a lot of time, give it to somebody else and have them do it. And then if you are looking at someone else's manual, you write notes up. We may get to that. I don't know. I sort of doubt it. I think we got enough to do this summer. But that's generally what should go on this assignment. So if you do your instruction manual, give it to somebody at home or somebody you know, and have them try out your instruction manual. Have them write up what happened. Upload both of those into the Google Drive. That's sort of the optimal way to do this. So there are a bazillion templates for instruction manuals. Most of them are terrible. You could do better using, inserting images into a Word doc or PowerPoints or Google Slides or something. But there's much better ways of thinking about instruction manuals these days that don't have to get into all of that stuff. I'm going to show you a few things. This is a really interesting article about the kinds of instruction manuals that people are creating these days and sort of the history of them. This is a kind of a wonderful instruction manual about, by a company called Harry's. And it's just very simple, a little graphic and another little graphic. Very, very, very simple. But it's an instruction manual, instruction stuff. Don't know if any of you have still got, or your fathers or grandfathers or uncles or anybody still hanging around with these old Haynes car manuals. I remember these from a long time ago. They are like, about 9,000 pages long, and they're just tiny, teeny little pieces. It's just really quite incredible. Now they've changed up. They're doing different kinds of things, which is kind of nice. A lot of instruction manuals gone to graphic. This is IKEA. Yes, they've won awards, and they've also won a lot of criticism. Like this one says, don't do it by yourself. Okay, I got it. This one, I got a question. Okay, I'm going to call IKEA and see how to do it. Right? That makes sense. So here's IKEA's. This is on the website, obviously, so you can take a look at it. But these days, instruction manuals can look like infographics. They look like YouTube videos. People are using, you guys are all, a lot of you are technical, well, you're all technical people, computers and engineering. And you know perfectly well that instruction manuals and instruction guides and user's guides are often on our phones, QR codes being built in. I got a QR code on my, that little printer back there. That little, so whenever I do something wrong, I hover my phone over the QR code and it takes me to the right spot, and they're 9,000 word. This is it's a Canon printer. And their manual is really long, but the QR code takes me to the right spot. So there's a whole lot of ways to do this, right, since things are now new and different. This is a really good, rather than me going into what makes a great instruction manual, go look at these articles. Again, they're easy to refer to. The user, they're almost always user tests or usability tests on instruction manuals. When you give the manual to a potential, to the target audience, somebody who's in the target audience, and have them do it and then give you feedback, which is why we try to do that in this assignment. Make them easy to read, including don't put it in Gothic handwriting. It's like, are you kidding me with this right now? Make it easy to read. The instructions should be laid out step by step. And, they just need a good, strong design. So those are some simple principles for you. Look at that. Now, these days, one of the things, here's some bad examples. Okay, see, these are some really, really terrible These are instructions and not necessarily user manuals, but this is one. This is a good one. Every night before food, once daily to be taken 4 times a day, 3 times a day, every 3 times daily. Take 1, take 2, take 3, 1 or 2. Follow the printed instructions. Warning, warning, danger, Will Robinson. Sorry, that's an old thing. This is one of my favorite. This is a joke, but it's like an IKEA thing. Okay, here's the little washers, and these go in here. But if you look closely, this makes no sense. It's like an MC Escher drawing. So I don't know what connects with what. Right? That's what the IKEA instructions look like sometimes. This one is like, do I do it this way? Do I turn it that way? Do I turn it this way? Do I turn it that way? I don't have any idea. And so these are just some funny. This one is absolutely hilarious. This is an old one from Honda. Somebody tried to translate from Japanese and then didn't clean up the English. So it says, at the rise of the hand by policemen, stop rapidly. Do not pass him by or otherwise disrespect him. When a passenger of the foot hooves in sight, tootle the horn trumpet melodiously at first. If he still obstacles your passage, tootle him with vigor and express by word of mouth, warning, hi, hi. Beware of the wandering horse, that he shall not take fright as you pass him. Do not explode the exhaust box at him. Go soothingly by. Sorry, coughing attack. So, this is just, translation is hard. Like I said, I did it, and I don't know if I told you this, but one of the jobs as a technical writer I had was to take somebody's instruction manual that they had translated from Japanese badly, not in idiomatic English, and then I had to translate it into English that people actually could use. It was a really fascinating job. I did it for about 6 months and wanted to kill myself. Then there's all kinds of fun stuff. So these are just some funny, bad examples. Here's another one with some good and bad examples. So these are nice. We see these kinds of things all the time, right? Very simple. You can think of doing something like this. It's got graphics, numbers on it. These do take a little while to make, but they're really, really helpful, really useful. Back up. And here's the Legos. I love Legos because they're real specific, with the colors, and you can count up the boxes. And my granddaughter just made like a 12,000 piece Harry Potter, Hogwarts Lego thing. And the manuals were so clear that it, oh heck yes, it took a week, but they got it all together. All right. Here's some bad ones. Everything is just sort of, I don't even know. Here's one language, and here's another language, and everything is all crammed up here so tight you can't even find stuff. This violates one of those principles of being easy to read and clear for the reader. It's just really hard to read this stuff. Okay, even getting up close, it's just very, very difficult to see. This one, same problem. This one's not as bad, but it's if you try to do it using this, you're going to find yourself lost because it's not going to really make any sense, especially when you get down here. Right. So here's some good and bad designs. Excuse me, I'm having a little trouble. Right. So the interesting thing about what's going on these days is that there are a lot of more infographic style instruction manuals than there used to be, and this is what I mean by infographics. Right, stuff like this. This one's got timelines. This one's got some templates you can use. But infographics are great because everything is clear. It's very well laid out. The best thing. Oh, here's some Google images for some good and bad instruction manuals. Okay, some other things to do. This one's very simple. It's got no pictures in it, but what the heck? Not too bad. Instruction manual infographics, there's a lot of these things. Okay, so here's one. Here's another one that's much longer, but it's got all the information that somebody needs. It's all in there. So there's a lot of, you can see how these are done. These users' manuals are laid out much differently these days than they used to, especially if you're talking about, if your audience is a classic end user and not just a technical person. All right, so how do you create an infographic? instruction manual. The best thing to do is to go to, and I don't have it on here, but I will put it on here, to something called Canva.com. Yes, you can use PowerPoint, Google Slides, Word doc if you want to, but to make it better, I'm not going to say get a better grade, but to make a better instruction manual, use this. Just use Canva. Canva is free. There are pictures that you might have to pay for, but if you upload your own photos from whatever it is you're making, you can. It's still free. They also have a lot of free photos. They have some that you have to pay. I think it's like $1 a pop. Now I have an account with Canva because I use it all the time, But this, if you just check out instruction manuals, they've got all these templates already set up for you. So if you wanted to do, there's this one down here I was looking at earlier, how to make a paper airplane. Okay, it's free, and the nice thing about Canva is you can move anything around. Oops, I didn't mean to do that. You can add text to it. Hi there. Okay, you can change the kind of text, sizes, colors, anything in the world that you want to it. Go back to templates, back to this one. Replace it. Okay, so just start over again. Throw things out. So there's other kinds of lots of templates that you can use on here. All you have to do is upload your own pictures. I have a lot of stuff uploaded because, like I said, I use it all the time. You can use their pictures, flowers, nature, backgrounds, all kinds of stuff. Right? So if I wanted to say a picture of money, I can do photos. This is all. I can do photos, money. I can do graphics of money. Yes, there are videos, and you can actually include your own video. Audio here, lots of nice background sounds. Not that you need them, but you can. But again, you can upload your own images to put in here. So I really would strongly, to make it really fast, to use Canva and to pick go back to one of their templates. Right? So, instruction manuals. There are a lot of them. Just a lot of instruction manuals. Some of these are fun. Some of them are for kids. Some of them are longer. Okay. Just Google on it and find what you like and put your stuff in here. You can create more than one page. You can download it as either a JPEG or a PDF. So if you wanted to use this one and just make another, you could add, for example, add a page, and you just keep on going. I have a student who did a project. This one's blank. You can copy over what's here and make it just like it. I have a student who did I think it was about 15 or 20 page infographic for a project last spring about how she was charting how she overspent during the pandemic. It was a really funny project, so it was terrific. So use Canva. I strongly encourage you to use Canva. But that's it. And I've gone a little longer than I intended to, but I wanted to show you that peanut butter and jelly stuff. So again, the assignment is simple. Instruction manual is something where you teach somebody how to do it well. Instruction manual has to include graphics as well as text, and have a cover memo explaining the target audience and what you went through to get it made. And here's one way to do it. This becomes 6 down becomes optional, and I'll tweak this. If you have a chance to give this to somebody else and for them to give you feedback, you can include that in your assignment when you upload it at the end of the term. Now the due dates on this are can't remember the due dates on here, but there's 2 due dates. There's like an interim benchmark, which is like the 18th, but then it's not due until the very last day of class, which is the 1st of August. All right, so that's it for instruction manuals. Hit me up on Slack if you have questions, as always, and enjoy this. These are always a lot of fun.